everybody. Today, I decided I'd stray from the realm of philosophy and introspection and just give you a little look at my occult collection. I'll admit it's not very big. It is growing, it is a work in progress, but I quite like what I've accrued thus far. We'll begin by taking a look at my books. This one, well, very self-explanatory. It is a dictionary of various crystals and their alleged properties. I actually just bought this the other day at Books A Million. It was at their clearance section. Very informative, very direct. Covers a wide range of crystals. They are color-coded. Next, we have The Path of a Christian Witch by Adelina St. Clair. I haven't actually looked through this one very much. I, again, just got it a couple months ago from Books A Million. I didn't expect to find it in their New Age section. I honestly thought it was an Amazon exclusive when I first heard of it. But, yeah, from what I've read, her perspective, it's interesting. I don't know if I quite concur on her level, but it at the very least is an interesting look at a differing perspective than the one I had been raised on. These next two, I basically lump into the same category because they're pretty much the same idea. You've got The Witch's Tarot Companion by Ellen Dugan and The Book of Runes by Frances Melville. I got both of these from the accompanying tarot and rune sets, which we will be going over later, and basically what they are is just a guidebook for the various symbolism and uses that these tools have. Now, to clarify, I am not one for using divination a whole lot, if even at all. Particularly in regards to trying to read the future. I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm a bit more confident in my future, and I would very much like to pay respect to the biblical commandment against it, but I do still find these things very fascinating, very interesting to read about. Up next, we have Nocturnal Witchcraft, Magic After Dark by Konstantinos. Ooh, now we're getting spooky. It is simply what it says it is, a guide to the craft, based primarily after the sun goes down. I like the way this is written. It comes across as being very compact, very concise, and candid, very straightforward, and above all else, very direct and honest. It feels like, I don't know, almost like this author here is having just kind of a casual conversation about what he's come to understand about, the spirit, about nature, and just the spiritual properties of the planet we're living on. Up next, by far the oldest entry in my collection, and definitely my absolute favorite book, Animal Speak, The Spiritual and Magic Powers of Creatures, Great and Small, by Ted Andrews. For the longest time, I'd always been curious about spirit animals, how they worked, what they exactly were, the cultures that they originated from, and it's all covered here. Got it for, how much was that? Yeah, about $23. And, it was worth every penny. I quite enjoyed reading through this. It's actually the only book out of this collection that I've actually finished. Highly recommended if you're interested in the more spiritual aspect of the animal kingdom. Now, this last one you can't actually buy from a bookstore because it's my Book of Shadows. I have had this thing for many months now. I think I recorded the date that I got here, April 14th, and it's basically, what it is. It's a journal where I keep all my thoughts, any particular spiritual happenings or ideas or notes. It's all in here. And of course, as is the nature of Books of Shadows, I prefer to keep the contents to myself, but as it is a part of my collection, I've only felt it right to include it here. Moving on to what, at least for now, passes as a kind of altar. This is actually my dresser. It's the most that I'm able to work with right now until I'm blessed with my own living space. I decided to take some spare fabric that I found and, splay it across as sort of a, I guess what amounts to a altar cloth. I have my tarot, my runes, and my collection of gems, which will be going over all of it soon. Got an incense burner. I actually own 2 of these. This is the more extravagant one. I was surprised to find that Books A Million actually sells these things. A pretty fair price for what it is. And my other one, don't know if I can... my other one, this I got off of Amazon. Yeah, I saw that it was getting very poor reviews, but I really don't understand why. It worked just fine for me. The only reason I don't have it out in the open right now is because of, well, this beautiful thing just kind of overshadows it, and I see no need to have 2 incense burners at the same time. I've got candles, very strategically arranged, some sculptures that I feel just really resonate with me. We've got an abundance of skulls here, skull imagery, and crows and ravens too. Some of my personal favorite animals for personal reasons. There was actually, fun fact, it was actually watching The Crow starring Brandon Lee that really set me down this path of personal independence and spirituality. I wouldn't even be decked out in this stuff if I hadn't seen that movie, so I have a lot to thank The Crow for. I have 2 dream catchers that I got from a mystical spiritual store from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Let me think. Enchanted Planet. Enchanted Planet, that's what it was called. Here we have the other one. Obviously, I chose to purchase black ones. I have my collection of incense sticks right here. I was shocked to find Kroger actually sells incense for a very good price, too. Highly recommend it. If you got a Kroger in your area and you're in need of incense, by all means, they're good to go. Next up is my gargoyle. I haven't actually come up with a name for him. I really should. I got this as a Christmas gift many years ago from my mother. She said she knew that I really liked gargoyles, and she wanted to buy me one, and this was the only one, she said, that wasn't ugly, looked very noble, and I have to agree, it is a very beautiful sculpture. I'm very blessed to have it, and I feel it really adds a sense of dignity to, any display that it happens to be on. Moving onwards, we have my dagger. I call her Whisper. Reason for that is that she comes out of her blade very quietly. Now, unfortunately, I can't demonstrate with both hands, as I need one to hold the camera, but I regard her as just one of my purer and simpler blades. I like the sort of the directness of how she was designed. She has a very sleek blade. I don't know if that's really come across on camera, but I love the cleanliness of it. And the fact that her handle here is made of white, like ivory, it adds a sense of character. Really proud to have her. And moving on, we have a few more tools of the trade. This here is my collection of tarot cards. I've actually been meaning to purchase multiple decks of these, if only because I find them so fascinating and so artistically beautiful. Just the relevance that symbology has had throughout the ages. Even to this day. Something very poignant about that, I think. The deck I use is, if you recall, the Witch's Tarot. I purchased it from Books A Million for I think under 30 bucks. Okay, their decks are pretty expensive, but hey, they come with a book too, so what do you expect? Moving on, we have my runes, and these beautiful things are made from rose quartz. I just was touring, the New Age shop at Books a Million, and I saw these, and I thought, that's got to be mine. I am a lover of Norse culture, and having a little piece of that here with me, and with these beautiful tablets, no less, just, yeah, they are a very proud purchase. I'm happy to have them, although I have no idea how the hell they work. I'll be honest, like, I've never found the patience to actually learn. To be honest, I kind of like it that way. I have no actual intention of seriously using these things, especially if at this stage of my spiritual growth. I mean, I don't think that even if I was in any kind of hurry that I'd be ready for it. But hey, they're still pretty cool. I think so. And finally, we have my collection of stones, and these were bought from a wonderful shop in Murfreesboro, Tennessee called Stone Keepers. All except for this one, this rose quartz. It was actually a blank rune. Excuse me. Oh dear. It was a blank rune from this set right here, and so I decided to still put it to use, lumping it in with all these others. Off the top of my head, I can't quite name all of these, so hey, if any of you guys have any theories, or if you can recognize any of these stones, I'd be happy to know. This one in particular, let me just get it into the light here. I love the pattern on it. It looks almost like some winter forest or something, but for the life of me, I have no idea what this is. I can't remember the name of it. Again, be very happy to hear if you know what it is. The rest here, the tiger eye, zebra jasper, red jasper, rose quartz, obviously, labradorite. Damn, I forgot the name of this one, but I can look it up. It at least has that distinctive appearance. And I don't know, I always thought this was jade. What do you think? I don't know. Still, very fond collection of mine. I'm really looking forward to any opportunity I can have to build up on it. And that's basically it, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and till next time, be seeing you.